please visit LibriVox.org.
Julie, read by Holly Bliss.
Lois, read by J.C. Guan.
The Young Man, read by M.B.
Narration by Laurie Ann Walden. Introduction. "And do you write for any other magazines?" inquired the young lady. "Oh yes," I assured her. "I've had some stories and plays in the Smart Set, for instance." The young lady shivered. "The Smart Set?" she exclaimed. "How can you? Why, they publish stuff about girls in blue bathtubs and silly things like that." And I had the magnificent joy of telling her that she was referring to Porcelain and Pink, which had appeared there several months before. End of the introduction. Porcelain and Pink. A room in the downstairs of a summer cottage. High around the wall runs an art frieze of a fisherman with a pile of nets at his feet and a ship on a crimson ocean, a fisherman with a pile of nets at his feet and a ship on a crimson ocean, a fisherman with a pile of nets at his feet, and so on. In one place on the frieze there is an overlapping. Here we have half a fisherman with half a pile of nets at his foot, crowded damply against half a ship on half a crimson ocean. The frieze is not in the plot, but frankly it fascinates me. I could continue indefinitely, but I am distracted by one of the two objects in the room, a blue porcelain bathtub. It has character, this bathtub. It is not one of the new racing bodies, but is small, with a high tonneau, and looks as if it were going to jump. Discouraged, however, by the shortness of its legs, it has submitted to its environment and to its coat of sky blue paint. But it grumpily refuses to allow any patron completely to stretch his legs, which brings us neatly to the second object in the room. It is a girl, clearly an appendage to the bathtub, only her head and throat. Beautiful girls have throats instead of necks, and a suggestion of shoulder appearing above the side. For the first 10 minutes of the play, the audience is engrossed in wondering if she really is playing the game fairly and hasn't any clothes on, or whether it is being cheated and she is dressed. The girl's name is Julie Marvis. From the proud way she sits up in the bathtub, we deduce that she is not very tall, and that she carries herself well. When she smiles, her upper lip rolls a little and reminds you of an Easter bunny. She is within whispering distance of 20 years old. One thing more. Above and to the right of the bathtub is a window. It is narrow and has a wide sill. It lets in much sunshine, but effectually prevents anyone who looks in from seeing the bathtub. You begin to suspect the plot? We open, conventionally enough, with a song. But, as the startled gasp of the audience quite drowns out the first half, we will give only the last of it.
When Caesar did the Chicago, he was a graceful child. Those sacred chickens just raised the dickens. The Vestal virgins went wild. Whenever the Nervi got nervy, he gave them an awful razz. They shook in their shoes with the consular blues, the imperial Roman jazz.
During the wild applause that follows, Julie modestly moves her arms and makes waves on the surface of the water. At least, we suppose she does. Then the door on the left opens and Lois Marvis enters, dressed but carrying garments and towels. Lois is a year older than Julie and is nearly her double in face and voice, but in her clothes and expression are the marks of the conservative. Yes, you've guessed it. Mistaken identity is the old rusty pivot upon which the plot turns.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know you were here.
Oh, hello, I'm giving a little concert.
Why didn't you lock the door?
Didn't I?
Of course you didn't. Do you think I just walked through it?
I thought you picked the lock, dearest.
You're so careless.
No, I'm happy as a garbage man's dog and I'm giving a little concert.
Grow up.
The walls reflect the sound, you see.
Waving a pink arm around the room.
That's why there's something very beautiful about singing in a bathtub. It gives an effect of surpassing loveliness. Can I render you a selection?
I wish you'd hurry out of the tub.
Can't be hurried.
Shaking her head thoughtfully.
This is my kingdom at present, godliness.
Why the mellow name?
Because you're next to cleanliness. Don't throw anything, please.
How long will you be?
Not less than 15 nor more than 25 minutes.
As a favor to me, will you make it 10?
Oh, godliness, do you remember a day in the chill of last January when one Julie, famous for her Easter rabbit smile, was going out, and there was scarcely any hot water, and young Julie had just filled the tub for her own little self when the wicked sister came, and did bathe herself therein, forcing the young Julie to perform her ablutions with cold cream, which is expensive and a darn lot of troubles?
Then you won't hurry?
Why should I?
I've got a date.
Here at the house?
None of your business.
Julie shrugs the visible tips of her shoulders and stirs the water into ripples.
So be it.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Yes, I have a date here at the house, in a way.
In a way?
He isn't coming in. He's calling for me and we're walking.
No, the plot clears. It's that literary Mr. Calkins. I thought you promised Mother you wouldn't invite him in.
She's so idiotic. She detests him because he's just got a divorce. Of course she's had more experience than I have, but...
Don't let her kid you. Experience is the biggest gold brick in the world. All older people have it for sale.
I like him. We talk literature.
Oh, so that's why I've noticed all these weighty books around the house lately.
He lends them to me.
Well, you've got to play his game. When in Rome, do as the Romans would like to do. But I'm through with books. I'm all educated.
You're very inconsistent. Last summer, you read every day.
If I were consistent, I'd still be living on warm milk out of a bottle.
Yes, and probably my bottle. But I like Mr. Calkins.
I never met him.
Well, will you hurry up?
Yes. I wait until the water gets tepid, and then I let in a little more hot.
How interesting.
Remember when we used to play Sopo?
Yes, and 10 years old. I'm really quite surprised that you don't play it still.
I do. I'm going to in a minute.
Silly game.
No, it isn't. It's good for the nerves. I'll bet you've forgotten how to play it.
No, I haven't. You get the tub all full of soap suds, and then you get up on the edge and slide down.
Huh.
Shaking her head scornfully.
That's only part of it. You've got to slide down without touching your hand or feet.
Oh Lord, what do I care? I wish we'd either stop coming here in the summer, or else get a house with 2 bathtubs.
You can buy yourself a little tin one or use the hose.
Oh, shut up.
Leave the towel.
What?
Leave the towel when you go.
This towel?
Yes, I forgot my towel.
Why, you idiot.
Looking around for the first time.
You haven't even a kimono.
Oh, why? So I haven't.
How did you get here?
I guess I whisked here. You know, a white form whisking down the stairs and...
Why, you little wretch. Haven't you any pride or self-respect?
Lots of both. I think that proves it. I looked very well. I really am rather cute in my natural state.
Well,
I wish people didn't wear any clothes. I guess I ought to have been a pagan or a native or something.
You're a...
I dreamt last night that one Sunday in church a small boy brought in a magnet that attracted cloth. He attracted the clothes right off of everybody, put them in an awful state. People were crying and shrieking and carrying on as if they'd just discovered their skins for the first time. Only I didn't care, so I just laughed. I had to pass the collection plate because nobody else would.
Do you mean to tell me that if I hadn't come, you'd have run back to your room unclothed?
Au naturel is so much nicer.
Suppose there had been someone in the living room.
There never has been yet.
Yet? Good grief. How long?
Besides, I usually have a towel.
You ought to be thanked. I hope you get caught. I hope there's a dozen ministers in the living room when you come out, and their wives, and their daughters.
There wouldn't be room for them in the living room, answered Clean Kate of the laundry district.
All right, you've made your own bathtub. You can lie in it.
Lois starts determinedly for the door.
Hey, I don't care about the kimono, but I want the towel. I can't dry myself on a piece of soap and a wet wash rag.
I won't humor such a creature. You'll have to dry yourself the best way you can. You can roll on the floor like the animals do that don't wear any clothes.
All right, get out.
Huh.
Julie turns on